What if everything you thought you knew about André Rieu's glittering success, his sold-out concerts, the grandeur of his orchestra, the perfect family image, was only part of the story? Behind the standing ovations and the shimmering violins lies a hidden empire built on quiet sacrifices, secret power moves, and a bond so unbreakable it defied the rules of fame. How did one man turn classical music into a global brand? And who was pulling the strings behind the curtain the entire time? Keep watching, because the truth will surprise you. This wasn't the story of a prodigy rising to fame. It was the story of a boy raised in silence, shaped not by melodies, but by emotional restraint. André's childhood home was filled with music, but not warmth. His father, a highly respected conductor, enforced perfection, but never gave affection. "I don't recall ever being hugged by him," Rieu confessed quietly. That one sentence rippled louder than a crescendo. It echoed a lifetime of longing. Instead of warmth, there was cold structure. Instead of comfort, discipline. That emotional void, it never left. It didn't break him. It did something far more powerful. It gave birth to his music. His violin became his voice when words failed him. Each note he played was a sentence he couldn't speak as a boy. And those lush, sweeping waltzes, they weren't just entertainment. They were coded messages, emotional lifelines. The sound of a soul reaching out. Through music, Rieu found the language he was denied as a child. And that's what made his concerts more than just performances. They were healing rituals for both him and his audience. You feel it when he plays. The vulnerability, the honesty, the pure, unapologetic emotion. That's not technique, it's truth. His upbringing, though cold and distant, sharpened a sensitivity that made his music cut deeper. In a world that often treats classical music like a museum piece, Rieu made it feel alive, warm, and heartbreakingly human. Every time he walks onto the stage, he's not just playing, he's opening old wounds to let others heal. But behind every emotional note, another force quietly pulsed. One that would redefine the entire core of his music, love. And not just fleeting romance or stage theatrics, but a deep, enduring love that grounded him in ways no symphony ever could. André Rieu's lifelong relationship with his wife, Marjorie, is not simply a romantic chapter in his life story. It's the foundation of everything he creates. They met as children, just kids, 11 and 13, never knowing their shared innocence would one day turn into an unshakable partnership. Through the decades, their love matured into something rare and steady. While the world chased stardom, Marjorie gave André something infinitely more valuable: emotional clarity. She didn't just stand by him, she anchored him. That love, it flows straight into his performances. That's why his concerts don't just sound beautiful. They feel honest. They move people because they come from a place of real, lived connection. The grand gestures, the theatrical waltzes, the sweeping arrangements, none of it would matter if not for the truth behind them. And that truth is Marjorie. Her presence, though rarely seen on stage or on camera, is felt in every bow stroke. While André greets thousands on tour, she remains behind the scenes, a ghostly presence who prefers authenticity over applause. And that very choice, to live out of the spotlight, gives their relationship its most powerful asset: privacy. In today's fame-hungry world, where every relationship is filtered, tweeted, and dissected, Marjorie's quiet refusal to be part of the show is her greatest gift. She preserves a sacred space for them, untouched by fans, tabloids, or cameras. Her humility reminds us that influence doesn't need to be loud to be real. It's that quiet strength that allows André to face the world with confidence, knowing the heart of his life is untouched by its chaos. This balance has helped André maintain a rare kind of stability in an otherwise whirlwind existence. Marjorie's grounded presence offsets the relentless rhythm of his tours, interviews, and media obligations. It's this emotional ecosystem, where one partner flies while the other steadies the wind, has allowed Rieu to thrive for decades without crumbling under pressure. When the world watches him smile on stage, there's more than charisma at play. There's assurance, there's depth, there's a quiet love waiting for him when the curtain falls. But Rieu's life isn't just shaped by emotion, it's also defined by precision, both musically and financially. His empire is a finely tuned orchestra of business savvy and artistic brilliance. With an estimated net worth exceeding $40 million, Rieu has built not just a brand, but an empire rooted in self-reliance. He owns his orchestra, his production company, and even the rights to his recordings. This level of control has allowed him to stay artistically free and financially insulated. André Rieu's luxury lifestyle reflects his meticulous standards. His real estate portfolio includes a historic castle in Maastricht, Netherlands, a residence that doubles as a creative sanctuary. His car collection boasts elegance, with models like the Bentley Continental and a classic Rolls-Royce Phantom, each meticulously maintained to match his timeless aesthetic. Though Rieu is not one to flaunt wealth, his taste in high-end timepieces, such as Patek Philippe and Rolex, quietly mirrors the sophistication of his music. He travels the world in style, often aboard private jets arranged to meet his demanding schedule while protecting his health and comfort. But beyond luxury lies security. Rieu has invested significantly in insurance policies covering everything from his prized Stradivarius to his health and performances. These policies aren't just practical, they're strategic. When your entire career depends on a single instrument and a pair of steady hands, every layer of protection counts. His entrepreneurial mindset extends into business ventures too. From exclusive merchandise lines to global concert DVDs and digital streaming royalties, Rieu has created multiple income streams. The financial lesson here is powerful. Control your art, invest in your brand, and build long-term value through ownership. Rieu didn't just ride the wave of fame, he engineered the ship. And perhaps that's the most profound takeaway from his journey. André Rieu's story isn't about overnight success, it's about transformation, turning emotional scars into art, building love into legacy, and mastering the balance between passion and precision. His life proves that even in a world full of noise, a quiet truth, told sincerely, will always resonate the loudest. Began as modest beginnings, André playing to small crowds while Marjorie supported them financially, has evolved into one of the most profitable classical music operations in the world. André's net worth is now estimated at over $50 million, and projections show that, with the continued global demand for his orchestra and merchandise, he could cross the $75 million mark within the next decade. But unlike many performers who ride the wave of fame with reckless abandon, André's wealth wasn't born of extravagance alone. It was methodically constructed, guided by Marjorie's early financial decisions and strategic oversight. Their real estate portfolio is no less impressive. The Rieus reside in a 15th-century castle in Maastricht, Netherlands, a historical property estimated to be worth over $12 million. It's a fairy tale setting, complete with sprawling gardens and ornate interiors, that serves both as a home and as an embodiment of their shared dream. But that's just the centerpiece. Their holdings extend to properties across Europe, including a modern estate near Provence, France, used for relaxation and writing, and an apartment in Vienna, the birthplace of the waltz, where André finds frequent artistic inspiration. Combined, their real estate empire likely surpasses $30 million in value. His love for classic elegance extends beyond music and architecture to the cars he drives and the accessories he wears. Over the years, André has been spotted driving luxurious vehicles, including a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Bentley Continental GT, and a sleek black Mercedes Maybach S-Class, each worth between $200,000 to $500,000. His collection is a testament not only to taste, but to the rewards of perseverance. On his wrist, he's known to favor the timeless sophistication of Patek Philippe and Jaeger-LeCoultre timepieces, some models valued at well over $100,000. These are more than status symbols. They're bookmarks of milestones along a remarkable journey. None of this might have existed had Marjorie not stepped in as the manager, the planner, the protector of vision. In the early days, while André focused on mastering his instrument and organizing small concerts, Marjorie was laying the groundwork for what would become a touring juggernaut. She booked venues, negotiated contracts, handled payroll, and navigated international regulations. Every element of the André Rieu experience, each sweeping curtain rise and thunderous encore, can be traced back to her meticulously laid plans. Here's where it gets deeply personal. At age 75, with a legacy already cemented, André opened up to fans in a heartfelt interview, and what he shared shifted everything. It wasn't the fame, the applause, or even his iconic 1667 Stradivarius that defined his life. It was Marjorie. Without her, he said plainly, I would be nothing. This wasn't a line rehearsed for effect. It was the confession of a man who has spent a lifetime composing not only music, but meaning. In that moment, the grandeur of his performances was stripped down to the heartbeat beneath it all. Enduring love. That revelation struck fans like a thunderclap. We had all seen the opulence, the packed arenas, the gilded violin, the roaring crowds, but few had seen the man still carrying wounds from a childhood devoid of affection. André's father, himself a strict conductor, never once embraced his son. That absence of tenderness carved a deep hollow in young André's life. Hollow he later filled with music so full of feeling that it could bring a crowd of 10,000 to tears. It's not just performance, it's reclamation. The story becomes even more compelling when you realize that Marjorie didn't just manage André's career, she inspired his very sound. It was a simple act. One day she shared her father's old record collection. Her father, Edgar Kochman, a Jewish refugee who fled Berlin, had carried with him a time capsule of light romantic music and sweeping classical waltzes. Among them, the Sportpalast Waltzer captured André's soul. This wasn't academic music, cold and precise. This was warmth, longing, nostalgia. It was what he'd been missing. Suddenly, he knew. That moment was transformative. Until then, André had been trying to fit into the rigid, upper-crust world of classical music performance. But Marjorie's records cracked open a new possibility. Music as emotional storytelling, not just technical mastery. He pivoted. He curated a style that felt alive, inviting, theatrical. He brought audiences not only into the music, but into a shared emotional experience. Signature style, the André Rieu experience, is born not from conservatories, but from a living room and a shared memory. Her influence has never waned. Even as the business grew and their son took on greater responsibilities, the systems Marjorie created kept things running like clockwork. She didn't just support André's dream, she operationalized it. She built a backstage universe where everything from travel logistics to budget breakdowns functioned with precision. In a world where creative chaos often destroys great talent, Marjorie created order. And in that order, André found freedom. Today, André's tours are masterclasses in grandeur and spectacle. From his home base in Maastricht to global stages in Sydney, Las Vegas, and Tokyo, his concerts draw over 700,000 fans annually. He sells out arenas once reserved only for rock stars. But while the fans see magic, behind the curtain is the rigorous architecture laid down over decades. His ability to keep this machine running is a testament to one of the most successful artist-led operations in the music world. Here's something fans rarely realize. The Rieu brand is its own production company. They produce their own DVDs, merchandise, broadcast specials, cutting out the middlemen and retaining the lion's share of profits. This self-contained business model, rare in the classical space, ensures long-term sustainability. Combined with André's evergreen appeal to multi-generational audiences, his financial empire is nearly bulletproof. Yet, with all this acclaim and wealth, André remains grounded by that single confession. His wife's love is the foundation of it all. In a time when headlines constantly scream of scandals and shocking splits, André and Marjorie's story offers something startling: stability. In fact, their quiet strength might just be the most powerful twist in an industry defined by spectacle. This isn't just about André and Marjorie, though. The story forces us to rethink how we define success in entertainment. Is it fame alone, or the ability to maintain integrity, love, and vision across decades? André could have easily pursued celebrity in the conventional sense. Red carpets, tabloid drama, reality TV guest spots. He chose something different, something enduring, and that might be why his legacy will outlast so many others. It's easy to get swept up in the dazzling visuals and the swelling music, but if you look closer, what you're really witnessing is a love story hidden in plain sight. Every violin solo, every cascade of confetti, every curtain call is a tribute, not just to music, but to the woman who believed in it when it was still just a dream. In an age that celebrates noise, theirs is a story told in quiet strength and relentless devotion. Just when fans thought they knew everything about the maestro, a deeply emotional revelation shifted the spotlight. André Rieu recently shared that one of his most prized possessions, his 1667 Stradivarius violin, is not merely an instrument. It is a vessel of memory, a carrier of emotion, and has been insured for over $3.5 million. That's not just about financial protection. It's a window into how Rieu has preserved the tangible symbols of his artistry, safeguarding not just sound, but soul. This violin is also a metaphor for the wealth he's built quietly and carefully over decades. With a current net worth estimated at $60 million and growing, André Rieu is not just a musician, a maestro of smart financial strategy. Starting from modest gigs in Maastricht to selling out stadiums across Europe, North America, and Asia, Rieu turned each stage into an investment. Each ticket sold was another thread in the tapestry of a global enterprise. And today, that tapestry includes a sprawling real estate empire worth over $25 million. Among his properties, a lavish chateau-style mansion in Maastricht, an apartment in Vienna, and multiple vacation estates dotted across the French Riviera. And his lifestyle? Discreetly lavish. Rieu has long favored the understated elegance of Mercedes-Benz S-Class and BMW 7 Series sedans, prioritizing comfort and class over flash. But don't be mistaken, he's also been spotted flying privately, often using chartered Gulfstream G650s for tours, especially when juggling tight schedules between continents. One source revealed that Rieu maintains comprehensive travel insurance policies valued in the millions, including coverage for instruments, performance cancellations, and even health-related contingencies, evidence of just how strategic and protected his empire really is. Behind this strategy stands his wife, Marjorie, whose behind-the-scenes brilliance transformed André's dream into a disciplined machine. Booked from the very beginning, she orchestrated logistics, streamlined operations, and led financial planning like a seasoned CEO. While Rieu enchanted on stage, Marjorie made sure the wheels of the machine never stopped turning. From negotiating concert venue contracts to helping build the infrastructure of their production company, she played chess while the world applauded the checkmate. Together they built a brand, not just a band. But just when you think it's all luxury and legacy, a second shock dropped. Marjorie recently revealed that the early years nearly broke them. Financially, emotionally, everything was on the line. There were months when we didn't know how we'd pay the musicians, she admitted in a rare interview. The family once mortgaged their home to keep the Johann Strauss Orchestra alive. That's not just business, that's conviction. It was this leap of faith that transformed a 12-member ensemble into a 130-musician juggernaut. Known today for performances so grand, they rival royal galas. Pierre and Marc, their sons, were watching. And now, they're not just part of the show, they're leading it. Pierre took up the logistical reins of the company and became the cornerstone of Rieu Productions' stability. He's the one making sure that everything from lighting to live streaming doesn't miss a beat. Meanwhile, Marc, ever the artist, took a different route. His paintings are displayed during certain concerts, layering visual storytelling onto musical performance. The Rieus didn't just raise sons, they cultivated visionary, but family, for André, is more than blood. A moment of vulnerability came when he described his orchestra as his second family. Touring 250 days a year can isolate even the most passionate performers. But Rieu did the unthinkable. He turned the road into home. Birthdays, anniversaries, dinners, they've all happened backstage or in foreign cities. We travel together, live together, cry and laugh together, he once said. The Johann Strauss Orchestra isn't a job, it's a way of life. And that life is insured, literally. Rieu holds layered insurance policies, asset protection for his homes and valuables, career disruption coverage in case of performance halts, and elite health insurance packages for international mobility. This meticulous planning has been a shield against the volatility of a performance career. No wonder business schools have cited his model in studies on sustainable artistic enterprises. In recent months, insiders suggest Rieu is considering expanding his business into immersive digital experiences. Talks of augmented reality concert simulators and collaborations with major tech firms have swirled, potentially pushing his annual revenue past $100 million within the next 5 years. If successful, this could reshape how classical music is consumed worldwide, again proving Rieu to be not just a musician, but a visionary. The lesson here is clear: build with passion, protect with strategy. From meticulous insurance coverage to intergenerational business planning, André Rieu's empire is a masterclass in harmonizing creativity with commerce. Unlike the fleeting fame of some celebrities, Rieu's legacy is built to last. And maybe that's the most powerful part of this story. Behind every bowstroke, every waltz, and every standing ovation is a truth we often overlook. The real wealth isn't in the private jets, high-end timepieces, or sprawling estates. It's in the resilience of a family that stayed aligned through every crescendo and crisis. André Rieu didn't just make music, he made meaning. For anyone watching, dreaming, struggling, building, it's proof that art, love, and ambition can compose a life far grander than any single performance. If this journey moved you, don't just watch, respond. Hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful stories, and drop your thoughts below. And if you're ready for another unforgettable tale from Hollywood's backstage, click the next video. Music's just getting started.